We start the show with a developing story. Jimmy Butler got undercut on a rebound late in the first quarter versus the Rockets game 2 and did not return to the game with a pelvic contusion. Wilbon, just how detrimental could this be for the Warriors?
If he misses a lot of time, like more than 2 games, it's a wrap for the Warriors.
What he just said right there wasn't a bad take. We all know the Golden State Warriors are a completely different team with Jimmy Butler on the floor as opposed to with Jimmy Butler off the floor. But there is one thing he and everyone else needs to recognize. It doesn't matter who is out there for the Golden State Warriors. As long as they have Steph and Curry, they have a chance to win against anyone.
Steph on the cross, the 3 on the way, got it. The stare down 3 was pure. Curry against Green. 6 on the shot clock for 3. Wet. It's wet.
Don't just take it from me, Jimmy Butler said the exact same thing. And this was a perfect example of that, because after a blowout loss in Game 2, with the Dubs' backs against the wall, missing their Robin, Steph decided he would carry this team to a victory regardless of who he was facing and who he was facing them with. 36 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists. An incredible stat line, but the stat line still doesn't come close to doing justice what Steph Curry just did. In a matchup against guys who have been considered Curry stoppers, yes, against a team with elite athleticism, elite physicality, elite coaching, and elite defensive personnel, Steph Curry was tasked with winning this game without his second option. Without a second option at all. But as he always does, whenever you think Steph Curry can't overcome something, he will do that and more. And after a slow start for Steph and the Dubs, the Warriors trailed the Rockets 35-24 halfway through the second quarter. Yes, I just said 24 points halfway through the second quarter, which is what happens when you have no Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry has to sit on the bench. Well, after he re-entered the game, he realized it was up to him to do some seriously heavy lifting, which is exactly what he did. Look at him here against the pressure from Amen Thompson, giving it up post, splitting the double team, and then with a sea of Rockets defenders, the touch, the underhanded floater. It's nasty. A minute later, with Quinton Post doing the dirty work as he did all night long, he got the offensive rebounds, and you can't lose sight of Steph Curry for even a second after that. And this just continued. I don't even want to talk over this play.
For Curry. Off glass, got it, Steph.
You saw the handle, you saw the change of direction, the body, the glass. This is the highest level of skill you could ever reach. No, I truly think that is true. And when you have that level of skill, unfortunately, Alperen Şengün has no chance at containing Steph as he drove straight past him and to the rim. Steph was doing everything, even to the point where he got the stop on Fred VanVleet after this flurry of scoring and then threw the outlet pass to Buddy. And all of a sudden, after scoring 24 points in 18 minutes, the Warriors put up 22 points in the last 6 minutes of the quarter because of the scoring flurry from Steph. And this continued throughout the game, with Steph doing what he does best, combining the greatest shooting ability ever with one-of-a-kind ball handling, relentless conditioning, and just cold-blooded shot making. I mean, none better than this play against Jalen Green in the fourth quarter. He gets the ball from GP2. He initially goes to drive, but Green stays attached and watch the little jab before looking at his feet for a second, and in a split second he rises up and knocks down the 3. Okay, I actually lied. He also did this against Jabari Smith Jr.
Oh wow, Steph hit the hydraulics. Slammed on the brakes.
Oh, and he wasn't just doing it from a scoring perspective. I mentioned the 9 assists. As always, Steph was getting doubled, he was getting blitzed, he was getting tackled, he was getting harassed every single time he touched the ball, and I don't know how he scored 36 points, but he did. He also managed to set up every player on his team for wide open shot after wide open shot after wide open shot, including this pass.
Green, wow, what a pass. Payton, got it! A dime drop for the ages by Curry.
Actually, we need to talk about the man who made that shot. Gary Payton II. I will say this time and time again. If there is one man I trust to step up when it matters most, outside of the obvious suspects, it is GP2. You want clutch shots? He can do that. You want him to set screens for Steph and roll to the basket? He can do that. You want him to make big defensive plays? You guessed it. I mean, he's not called the young glove for no reason, and time again, when the Warriors need someone to step up, when they need someone to knock down a corner a shot or get a big deflection or make a play, GP2 steps up. And I'm ready to build the GP2 statue. I'm being so serious. Let's just build it right now, because in addition to all of this, he flattened Dillon Brooks as well. I mean, if you couldn't love him anymore, how about running through Dillon Brooks, which was just revenge for what Brooks did in that Grizzlies series a few years ago. And this was a performance where every little moment mattered. Every extra possession, every rebound, every blocked shot, every hustle play. We know the Warriors are a team that need the playmaking and shot making of both Steph and Jimmy to unlock the entire roster. So when one of those guys is missing, it means more pressure firstly on Steph, and it means more pressure on every other player to not try and replace Jimmy Butler, because you can't do that, but to simply make more 1%ers than they otherwise would. And one of those guys who consistently made 1%ers in this game was Quinton Post. You can look at the stat sheet and see 2 points on 1 of 7 shooting, but we all know there are ways to impact the game when your shot isn't falling. And for a guy drafted 52nd in last year's draft to play 27 minutes in a playoff game is unbelievable. And he played that many minutes because he made sure to fight for every single possession. To be honest, this game gives me more confidence in Post than ever before. We all know the shot is money. We all know he's going to have good shooting games, but if he can still affect the game positively without shooting well, it just means when that shot is falling, he's going to be more impactful than ever. And we're seeing him grow in real time. And there is another player that deserves to be mentioned.
It's just talking. You know, he can't really do much of anything else, so talking is the only way.
This is what Jalen Green said after the game. And this is what a lot of people say about Draymond. He can't do anything but talk. Mr. Triple Single, blah, 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 blah. The difference between Draymond Green and Jalen Green is when Draymond Green has 7 points, he can still be one of the most impactful players on the court. When Jalen Green has 9 points, he is one step closer to learning how to speak Chinese. But despite the numbers from Draymond, for people who actually watched the game, and for people who care about more than just dribble, tween, hezzy, pull up, and shooting 30% from the field, you would have recognized that Draymond Green turned into Superman in the fourth quarter on defense, locking up Şengün, putting a lid on the rim for any Rockets players trying to get in the paint, securing rebounds, and just being everywhere on the floor. And I can't finish this video without mentioning the ongoing dialogue between Jimmy Butler and Buddy Hield. Honestly, I'm tempted to make an entire video on just the interactions between these two. Let me know if you'd watch that. But the 2 clips that stood out was Buddy Hield apologizing for getting pickpocketed by Steven Adams on the bench, with Steph Curry not interested and Jimmy trying to stop himself from laughing. And then later in the game, look at Jimmy on the bench giving Buddy his very own instructional video at how to dribble. This is without mentioning the quotes, but like I said, we can save that for another day. Either way, hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more content like this. Dropping a like would be cool. Most importantly, have a great day.